Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Pundits Society. Today it is Pablo and myself, and we are going to be looking at every Ballon d'Or winner since 2000. So we kind of were deciding between looking at the 1990s onwards or from 2000 onward and ultimately settled on 2000. So obviously a few big names will miss out, such as Ronaldo Nazario, Zinedine Zidane. But we thought that, given our age and our experience watching football, this was what we could most accurately look into. So,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we could have gone back a little bit more, but the discussions would have been a lot quicker, so it makes more sense to do it this way. So starting off with Luis Figo in 2000. I mean, obviously he had a very controversial transfer from Barcelona to Real Madrid. He subsequently won the Ballon d'Or at Real Madrid. I mean, that was a season where Real Madrid won the Champions League. They didn't win La Liga because Deportivo La Coruña won it that year, which was actually quite a shock in Spanish football. The last time they've won it since. But the Champions League, I mean, it was Real Madrid's eighth at the time. They won it in the final against Valencia, 3-0. So quite a comprehensive victory. And that was actually the year before they signed Zidane. So Figo was probably the star of that team at this point and took home the Ballon d'Or. Also, just want to mention before handing it over to you, Jake, Portugal did reach the semifinals of the Euros that year, lost in pretty controversial circumstances to France, actually, with a golden goal penalty in the 115th minute or so. And Figo was obviously the shining star of that Portugal team as well. So I'm curious to hear where you'll put him, but I have some thoughts.
yeah, this is a tough one because Figo, I think, is a phenomenal player. And I think this Ballon d'Or is it's hard because I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. There was tough competition that year, you know. I think France, our team at the 2000 Euros was very, very strong. I think actually that squad was better, arguably, than our 1998 World Cup winning squad, just in terms of like peak for performance and players doing what they need to do. Um, Figo, very good player. I just think looking at the rest of this list, my gut instinct would be honestly to put him in table five for now. I'm not saying that he was terrible, but I don't know. What would you think, Pablo? What do you
I
lean
think I think that's
towards?
pretty low, table five. I'd put him like maybe high table four, low table three. I mean, we have to remember Figo is a great player. He just moved for a world record transfer fee. He contributed to a trophy being won, contributed to some great successes with the national team. I would say let's start with table four and then see. Yeah, I think there'll be some interesting discussions later on, but we
Yeah,
can, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's my bias. I do think Zidane deserved it in 2000. It's a tough case. I think he came second in the rankings. So obviously there's that to consider, but we'll put him table four for now, as you said. My initial gut instinct is to put him here, but we'll put him four.
Now, someone that I do believe does belong squarely in table five is our next candidate here, which is Michael Owen in 2001. Now, obviously, Michael Owen was one of the youngest Ballon d'Or winners ever. I think he was 21 when he won it. Liverpool that year won the so-called treble, which was the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Europa League. I mean, that was a Liverpool team that was pretty poor, in my opinion. Obviously, they didn't win the league. I don't think they were even close to the league that year. He was top scorer of the Premier League, but it wasn't really when the Premier League was at its apex. I would say for me, it's an easy table five. There's no international tournament to really drag him out of it. I'm not saying that. I mean, the thing is, all these players are excellent, right? So the argument isn't whether they're good or not. It's just where these Ballon d'Or seasons rank up compared to each other. And I think if you take that framework into account, it needs to be table five. What do you think?
Yeah, it's it's interesting. Sorry, I got thrown off. Could you I got thrown off. I was thinking about something else.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
can you tee me back in? Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
I got thrown off
yeah.
completely. I was
So I would
distracted.
say. So I would say, given that we're not evaluating whether these players are actually good or not, they're all excellent, but whether their seasons are better or worse compared to the other ones on this list, I would have to say it's a table five for me for Michael Owen, to be honest.
Yeah, Michael Owen, I mean, I've waxed lyrical about him on this podcast before. Obviously, gave him huge plaudits when we were talking about the top teenagers ever. Um, but I have to agree. I mean, very, very good player. And, I think he was really young when he won this. He must have been 21, 22, something like that. So that's obviously incredibly impressive. But as you said, in the grand scheme of these options that we have before us, I would put him table five as well. I don't think that he had a better, let's say, Ballon d'Or candidature than Figo, for example.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. What do you think about R9 in 2002?
So it's tough because I mean, I mentioned him missing out from the 90s one, and I know we're focusing on the 2000s here, but I think that his 90s Ballon d'Or is arguably better than his 2002 one. I don't know, maybe that's a hot take. This 2002 one I think is deserved, and he was very, very good. Obviously, Brazil won the World Cup. That was a big deciding factor. He also had a great club season. I don't think it was his best club season, so it's interesting that he also won it for one where it wasn't necessarily at his peak form. It's hard because it's such a big name, right? It's R9. You want to give him his plaudits, and to be honest, I think I would have his what was it, 1997 Ballon d'Or very high. This one is it outrageous for me to say I would put it like table three for now? I don't know.
Honestly, I don't think it's that outrageous. I have to disagree with you slightly on the fact that he had a good club season. I don't think he did have a good club season. Like he actually only played 10 league games that season because it was when his knees were shot to bits. So
Yeah.
the thing is, how much do we want to value his contribution at the World Cup? Because if we look at that, he scored 8 goals in 7 games, right? In the modern era, that's pretty much unheard of as you know, could goal contributions come. So and he was probably the reason why Brazil won that World Cup. Like they didn't have the strongest team. They weren't one of the favorites going in person necessarily, but they did win quite handily in the end, winning every
Mm.
single game. So I think it's hard because he actually scored more goals in the World Cup than he scored league goals that season, right? Which is a pretty insane statistic.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say his 97 season is way better than this
Yeah.
one. But this one has contributed more to his legacy, in my opinion, because of the fact that it is a World Cup winning season. But I would say probably I would put him in table four even. Like I don't know. Like I just think it just it's hard to put him higher considering the fact that he didn't really play that much in the like 10 games in the league season is about one quarter of the season, right? Like that's not a big enough sample size. And yeah, I agree that the World Cup is something that really should count for the Ballon d'Or and kind of makes it special, but maybe bottom of table three, like I don't know, I feel like that might be a bit harsh, but that's my gut feeling for now.
No, you're right. And now that I'm thinking about it, you're right. I didn't realize that that was the season that he only played 10 games. I was thinking the season after that where he was good, the 2002, 2003 season where he was also good in other like European competitions and stuff as well. But you're totally right. Now that I'm seeing this, I mean, 7 goals in 10 games is obviously a very good record, but that's just not enough of a sample size. And given my given my criticism for certain things being rewarded with World Cup performances, I have to set a precedent here and say I agree with you. I knowing that and taking that into account, honestly, you could even make a case for table four.
I would say three just because I guess if you think about the Ballon d'Or, it's also the calendar year, right? So like that 2002,
Yeah,
2003 season where he was good probably still partly should count towards
that's
our
yeah.
evaluation of it. So I would say there, we can see. Next, I would have Pavel Nedved. So again, this one's pretty tough for me because I think Juventus had a pretty good year that year. They got to the final of the Champions League. They won the Serie A, of course, one of their many. Um, there was no international tournament, so again, those are some of the main factors that come towards the Ballon d'Or. Serie A was still at its peak back then, so it was still considered the best league in the world. I don't hate this. This is the year that a lot of people say Thierry Henry should have won it, for example, in 2003. But I don't hate Nedved winning it. That being said, I don't think it's a generational season. I would honestly put it kind of on the Figo levels, maybe table four. I'd definitely put it above Michael Owen because I do think you can make a pretty strong case for Michael Owen not being the best player in 2001. So my gut feeling is to put him behind Figo. What do you think?
I'm going to be honest, very good. And I'm going to preface this by saying Pavel Nedved, very good player. And I think actually as time goes on, he might genuinely be getting underrated. I think a lot of people kind of forget him. Back like 10 years ago, he was an icon card on FIFA. So people our age, in their teens kind of knew who he was, and that caused people to look him up as well. Nowadays, I feel like people are like, who is this Czech winger, played for
Yeah,
Juventus?
I think he's not an
Uh,
icon anymore, even, right?
no, I actually, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna be honest. I would slap him table five. I know, like I just said something respectful to him. I just genuinely, and I'm not trying to fuel agenda, but I think that was Thierry Henry's Ballon d'Or that season. I think what let him down was European football, and I think European competitions have always let Thierry Henry down, to be honest. But that's something you can't entirely fault him for. Um, he's been overshadowed. Sorry, yeah, Thierry Henry has also been overshadowed by his, national team compatriots at big tournaments. You could say, they've been better than him. I don't know. So for that reason, I'd have to put Nedved five. I'd put him above Michael Owen, but I personally would have him below Figo in any case. I mean, we could
Sure.
put him
Okay.
four for now,
No,
but
let's put him in five, and but I'd put him above Michael Owen for sure.
yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. So Shevchenko, um, this is a tough one, man. He was very, very good. He was really good. AC Milan was obviously very good. Right off the bat, I'm thinking table four. I don't know. Is that harsh? I feel like I'm being harsh to these guys. It's just
Thing is,
yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily harsh, but I just think like I'm looking at who's coming next, right? And the thing is, I
that's the
do agree
thing.
that if you look at Messi and Ronaldo's career, it's
It's
obviously
yeah,
way better than Shevchenko's, but some of their Ballon d'Or seasons, I'm not going to rate them as highly
I
as
agree.
one would think. So the thing is, if we're looking at let's think about the season. So I think in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, Milan did win the Serie A. They didn't go very far in the Champions League, at least not. They lost against Deportivo like pretty early actually in like the quarters of
Hmm.
around 16. So Shevchenko was definitely one of the best strikers in the world in that time, and I think he scored. That was a 30 plus goal season. Also, the thing with Nedved that brings him down is that he wasn't really someone that got like 20 goals and assists, right? And I think when people look at football today, if you don't have a crazy number of goals and assists, people just think that you weren't that good. When the reality was that football was just different back in the day, right? Like I think less goals were scored overall. I think also strikers carried the burden of scoring more than they do now, right? There wasn't really this idea of a false nine back then. That being said, for
That's true.
Shevchenko, I'd probably put him above Figo, but still table four. I think that's reasonable. Yeah,
He was an absolute gunman, to be fair, even though you obviously mentioned they had an unfortunate exit in Champions League early that is tough. But I think that 2004 summer as well, we've talked about Greece winning. I think that also throws things for a bit of a loop. What if a big European player had had a better tournament at the Euros that year? Maybe that could have affected the outcome. But Shevchenko, I mean, yeah, I agree. I would put him table four for now. You
yeah,
said
let's put him. Yeah,
you said above or below Figo,
I'd put him
sorry.
above Figo personally.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, top scorer in Serie A, Milan won the Serie A title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And again, it's when Serie A was the top league, right? So it's still that I think carries some weight as well. Okay, next, I would say Ronaldinho. I mean,
yeah,
I believe that Ronaldinho is a top three football player of all time when it comes to talent. Like when it comes to players that actually know how to touch the football a certain way and play with it. I would say Ronaldinho might be top three on that list. I really like him. Obviously, his antics off the pitch have slightly detracted from his performances on the pitch. He wasn't always the most professional player. That 2005 season was pretty spectacular. That being said, Barcelona did win the league. It was under Frank Rijkaard. They didn't do that well in the Champions League. I don't I, I'm thinking table three off the top of my head. What do you think?
Yeah. It's interesting because first of all, one of the most entertaining players of all time, easily, apart from the talent thing. And he's a player that everyone loves, you know. I mean, Ronaldinho is just a footballing icon. And I'm really happy that he has a Ballon d'Or. You know, I feel like that kind of not that his legacy would be tainted in any case, but it's kind of cool that a player that's so entertaining and such like a stalwart of Brazil and Barcelona and what it means for those identities and that fun, free-flowing football that he has a Ballon d'Or, I think is phenomenal. And that season, yeah, he was very, very good. He was great even. I would I would put him first out of everyone we have so far, but I would put him table three as well.
Okay.
I think I would rate him above uh R9 season, to be honest. Maybe that's a personal opinion though.
No, that's fair. I'd put him above just because, yeah, I guess he was more involved
More
throughout the season
involved.
as well.
He contributed a lot of goals and assists as well. I mean, that's not everything, but yeah, I think this was him free flowing at his peak. So
Yeah.
Cannavaro is our next winner from 2006. So we've spoken about him. Actually, he's come up a fair few times on the podcast now. Do you want me to start or do you want to
Yeah,
start
you
for
saw it
Cannavaro?
first.
Yeah, so I'll say this, and I said this on the podcast before. Firstly, one of the greatest World Cup like single tournament performances ever from from a single player. And as far as the defenders go, I think it's probably the best one, man. Like I'm trying to think of a center back that's had a better single World Cup tournament. It's very hard. Cannavaro was a massive leader on the defensive line, had very good performances for Italy. Um, I've mentioned that I think the Ballon d'Or could have gone to Zidane. You know, I think Zidane was hurt by the red card and the result of the final. With that said, Cannavaro, where would I rank him? Dude, that's hard. I'm gonna sound harsh here, but I'm going like maximum table four.
I completely disagree. I mean, the thing is, obviously, yeah, you could say that Zidane could have won that Ballon d'Or, and sure, but like the final result does dictate the winner in some way, right? Also, if we take out that specific, let's take out the World Cup. Let's just look at the season per se, right? Zidane didn't even lead Real Madrid to win the league that year. They performed pretty poorly in the Champions League. That was in the years where Real Madrid is consistently getting knocked out in the round of 16. There were like 7 or 8 years in a row where that happened. It was the Galacticos Real Madrid as well, so it was a pretty stacked team. And the thing is, Cannavaro led Juventus to winning the league that year. Now, is it true that they were
Ooh,
demoted from the
okay.
Serie A because of that?
Leading the league
But
in a
they
rigged
won.
league,
They
dude.
came first in the league, though, you
Yeah,
know.
but they were
And the
in a
thing is,
rigged, they were match fixing. That's
yeah,
got
but
to be a
it
massive
wasn't his fault. Like
asterisk.
he wasn't like in
Yeah,
the dressing room doing that. Like he
no,
was
I
just
know, but
marshaling that
you
defense,
can't
you
say
know.
that they won regardless when like it would be true that like they won regardless if it was like I don't know, some other thing they were accused of, but this is literally match fixing that it
Yeah, I mean,
contributes directly to the result of the league.
potentially. I still think like they still got 91 points that year, right? Like you could say match fixing, you could say whatever, but 91 points is still a lot of points and the defense was really good. And then also if we let's look at the World Cup. I agree that Zidane had a fantastic World Cup, right? He scored against Brazil, he scored against Portugal in the semifinals. He had, it was a really good swan song for him. But but Cannavaro, Italy conceded two goals in that World Cup, an own goal and a Zidane penalty in the final. Two, no open play goals, right? Except for the own goal. And you're going to say, yeah, but Italy's defense was really good. Partly I agree, right? We saw it Buffon, but like our Nesta was injured. Maldini wasn't playing anymore. So our defensive line was Cannavaro, Materazzi, Fabio Grosso, and Zambrotta. Like that's a good back line, but that's not an all-time back line in my opinion. So I think Cannavaro definitely shouldered a lot of responsibility for the fact that Italy's defensive line was so solid. And the
I
thing is, looking how bad Italy is now, like you just have to rank it more highly because he was able to bring the last remnants out of that 2006 team to perform and win on the biggest stage.
I think uh I think you're being harsh on Zidane, who actually didn't have a terrible season in 05, 06. I mean, Real Madrid, dude, he still popped up, like got significant amount of goals. I think he had like 30 goal contributions in all competitions for Real Madrid that season. He had like that's not a bad season by any measure. Um, Granted, what the team things are a factor as they are with Cannavaro. I don't know. I just when I look at this list, man, I don't know what you were going to propose as a table, but he just cannot. I personally would put him in table five. I'm trying to be respectful and like say like put him table four. I'm
Uh,
just, dude, I'm looking at this list. I don't rank the seven matches that came. I don't know.
but he also had a
I
very good season other than the World Cup. Like he won the league, and like you can't like count it against him that it was revoked. Like that's not his fault. Like that shouldn't count against him, right? Like he was like
he's
I think
very
he's
good.
table three, man. I think he's like table three, borderline, maybe even on top of R9, to be honest.
I, dude, I don't know about that. I mean, he had a towering performance at the World Cup. See, I know this is one of the most contentious ones we were going to come to. Like it was the glaring thing on the page. And to be fair, what helps him is that he won Ballon d'Or in a year where the competition was tough. I mean, Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, Zidane. I think Buffon actually finished second as well. He was
Yeah.
very highly rated. Um, I'm not saying it's undeserved. I'm not saying that. Like, it's not like an egregious shout like some Ballon d'Ors have been that are coming up on this list later on. But I just, I don't know. Can we, if you're putting him three, then can we land on four? Would that be a happy medium?
Sure, I'll compromise on four.
We
But
can
I
put him
mean,
top of four if you want, but I personally want to state that I
yeah,
disagree with that placement.
I'd put him at the top of four. I mean, I'd even put him at the bottom of three, but in the spirit of diplomacy, I'll agree to that for now.
And
Let's see.
I'm not trying to violate him, dude. I'm trying to be respectful. Like, that I rate Cannavaro. I also love that he's, as far as defenders go, he's a short king,
Yeah, he's like
meters
175.
75,
Yeah.
176, something like that. Incredible player. I just, even if I take my bias aside, I wouldn't rank him as highly as a lot of the ones on this list. Maybe table five is a violation, but yeah, I don't know. But did he have a better Ballon d'Or campaign than Nedved? Like,
Yeah, for sure. He
yeah,
won the
yeah,
World Cup,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Nedved's was also contentious with Thierry Henry, and that was more contentious, in my opinion, than Cannavaro's. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Kaká.
This on,
Kaká. Ooh,
dude,
it's difficult.
ah, peak Kaká, bro. Peak Kaká, really good, man. That peak season, his peak AC Milan career right before he went to Real Madrid, I think it's very, very good. And I think it's gotta be minimum table three, man. I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I would say table three. I mean, he won the Champions League. He was just really good. Again, he's one of those players that if you don't watch him play, just looking at the stats won't really allow you to understand his game. I would put him probably below R9 just because R9 is, he's who he is. But I think honestly,
But
table three probably.
dude, I think he's above R9. As much as I love R9, I think his single individual season has to
Yeah,
depends how much
potentially.
value you place on a World Cup, right?
I
Because
put a lot
obviously
of it because the
R9
thing is the World Cup only comes along once every 4 years. So winning
and
a World Cup,
it
it's
helps the Cannavaro
well, not
agenda,
only that, but
so
winning a World Cup means a lot because it's once every 4 years. You have your chance. Like you can either
but
like take
dude,
it or choke,
but what if you get but that's also like shafted if you get like a really like bad country or a really weak country, that's also always going to affect your
No, it's
your
true,
your
but
Ballon
one of the
d'Or.
reasons why Mbappe is viewed in the way he is because of his performance at the World Cup. Like
But
if you take those performances away, he's not
100%.
nowhere near the player he is, right?
No, I don't agree. He would be less like acclaimed, but I definitely dispute that claim overall. He's been immense in Champions League. Like he's any big game, he's been a very big game player. He's been bad in the Euros, very underperforming for France for what it's worth. Um,
I mean,
anyways,
yeah, I'd put him. I don't think it's outrageous to put him above R9 because he had like a great season. He also won the Copa
yeah,
America that year with Brazil, right? So it's not crazy, but I do
you,
count the
you
World Cup quite a lot.
you don't put him above Ronaldinho though, right?
I
I
don't think
wouldn't.
so personally. No,
Let's
let's leave him in front of him for now and then just see.
I guess we can come back to it. Um,
All right,
all
CR7
right.
2008. For me, it's like a very easy table one, personally. He scored 31 league goals for Manchester United. He won the league, he won the Champions League. I mean, he missed a penalty in the Champions League final, but it doesn't really matter. It still won. He didn't perform that well in the Euros. I mean, Portugal was pretty disappointing. I think they lost in the quarters against Germany, if I'm not mistaken. But Germany was a pretty good team. They made the final, and Portugal was pretty poor before they won in 2016. So I'd put him in table one just because he's the last Premier League player before Rodri to win a Ballon d'Or, and he was so good that year.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny because this is the start of a 10-year domination of these two players, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, we speak about all the time. We've spoken of really highly. Uh, I gotta be honest, I agree with Pablo. Like, there's no disputing it here. I think 2008 Ronaldo was just special, man. I mean, the fact that you can be that good in a single season to the point that like it's pretty unanimously agreed on that you're either the greatest winger in Premier League history or second. And he wasn't even in the Premier League for that long compared to some of the people he's going up against. I put him table one. I think unbelievable the goal scoring record. You're right that the Euros lets him down a little bit, but when you have that good of an individual season, I mean, yeah, it goes past that.
Yeah. Okay. So Messi '09. Why don't you kick us off here?
Dude, Messi '09. So this is interesting because this is testing our ball knowledge. I'm trying to think of specific seasons, and since we're looking at them, there's these 4 years. So I'm wondering if we almost take them as, is it unjustified to take them as like a group and kind of like
No,
consider
I think
all
you
of
have to
them?
take. I'll take him individually. I mean,
No,
2009.
I'm not saying I would place them into like as a group. I'm just saying, anyways, like 2009 Messi, I'll say insane. I would rank 2012 higher, and I'll get into the other ones later. I mean, it's at least table two though, regardless, right?
I
I
would say
like,
table two. I mean, that's the year where Barcelona won the Sextuple under Pep, his first season with the club, right? So that's pretty
yeah,
insane. I wouldn't put him table one because his
yeah,
output was better in other seasons, but I'll definitely put him in table two.
yeah. Um, okay, let's put him table two. It's tough. Like you said, incredible achievements. I mean, very good Barcelona team. Yeah, let's put him that season I'd say is below Ronaldo's 2008.
Yeah. 2010, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't think he should have won the Ballon d'Or that year. I think there were far more deserving players because the thing is, people that argue for Messi winning the Ballon d'Or in 2010, I get it. He was the best player in the world, of course, but then you should have just given him the Ballon d'Or for 10 straight years because he was always the best player in the world, in my opinion, during those 10 years. So the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion, should be about the best season. And if you're looking at the best season, I mean, it's hard to discount players like even within his own team, like Iniesta, Xavi, amazing World Cups, and they had the same club season as Messi. Even someone like Diego Milito for Inter Milan, or maybe more controversially, Wesley Sneijder. Wesley Sneijder won the treble with Inter under Jose Mourinho and also reached a World Cup final and was a Robin shot that Casillas saved with his leg away from also having a World Cup that year, right? So I think I'm not saying it's outrageous that Messi won the Ballon d'Or that year, but I can't rate it super highly because I don't think he should have. I would put it like table four, or to be honest.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, fair. Then we have a disagreement about this. I did not think that's where you were going to go with that. Um, this thing of him not deserving the 2010 Ballon d'Or, I don't know if I fully subscribe to it. Like he's it's hard, dude. It's hard because I think there's two other years that you could make more of an argument for him not deserving the Ballon d'Or than this specific year. With that said, definitely this is one of his weaker ones, right? It's not like a uncontestable win like some of his other Ballon d'Ors. Wesley Sneijder, very good. Had a very, very good season. I mean, that's kind of one of those football like legacy things, like Wesley Sneijder winning the 2010 Ballon d'Or. Whether that actually, how much merit that has to it, kind of up to personal opinion. I'm not saying it was unmerited, but people like Diego Milito, for example, were also unbelievable. Diego Milito also scored in like all of Inter's huge games.
Yeah.
He was scoring in like huge Champions League games, huge the cup games, domestic cup games,
He
and also
scored a
big
decisive goal in the league. He scored a
yeah.
decisive goal in the cup, and he scored a decisive brace in the Champions League
Dude, and I'm
final.
pretty sure they violated him with the rankings. This is slightly off topic, but I think he wasn't he like not even in the top 10 or something
I'm
like
not
that as
sure to be
well?
honest,
Or
but I
it's
remember
I
something
know
like
it was
that.
something egregious like that. Anyways, I guess I wouldn't put him table four, man. I would still put it table three. Um, I feel like table four is that feels I don't know that feels harsh.
But the thing is, there's going to be 8 seasons of Messi's to rank, right? So it's
Yeah, but
not
he's
like,
just so good. He still scored like what 40 goals that
he probably
season,
got
and
like
like
40 goals,
he
another
almost, yeah,
10, 15
47 in
assists.
all
So,
comps,
yeah,
47 goals in 53 games. That's not even counting the assists.
it's
Um,
not bad. But he also had a
I,
pretty poor World Cup. Like that's important as well. Like he was
yeah,
actually
that's
like
true.
very poor at the World Cup. He didn't
That's
score any
true.
goals. I don't know. I'd put him between high table four, low table three. Like I don't think it's crazy, but like
Let's put him bottom of table three for now. And if we have to shift him down, we'll do it a
sure.
bit later. I'm still putting him above Cannavaro personally. I
I
think
don't
is
know.
a
I
better.
think that's a bit controversial, but we
I
can
don't think
see.
that's controversial. We'll see what the others say. All right. So after a little pause and some slight disagreements off the air, we're getting back into the the tier list here, kicking us off with 2011 Messi and banter aside. Pablo was saying off the air that I'm gonna put Messi table one on tons of things, and I don't endorse that statement, but this is for me. This is actually unironically a clear table one. 2011 Messi for me is an absolute freak of nature. He was like I think 2011 and 2012 are going to get into it right after this, or maybe the peak years of his career. Obviously, you talk about the calendar goals in 2012, but 2011 for me, he has to be table one. Is like plain and simple.
Yeah, I'd agree, probably. I mean, he won the Champions League, he won the this Liga, he scored buckets of goals. He kind of destroyed Manchester United in that Champions League final as well in 2011, where
Yeah,
Sir Alex Ferguson famously says that he should have put Park Ji-sung on him, and that would have probably changed the outcome, but he didn't. So I'd say
but
table one. I'd put him
yeah,
below Ronaldo's 2008 season, though,
you
personally.
would.
I would,
Oh,
yeah.
that's interesting. I don't know if I agree. To 2011, Messi was a freak. I mean, they won Champions League, they won the league. He was I was he La Liga top goal scorer that season? I want to say yes.
It was either him
Uh,
or Ronaldo.
Yeah, right. It's a 50-50 shot in these years. Um, fair. I guess we could, just because that Ronaldo season is freakish and Premier League bias and whatnot. But
Yeah, so it was
um,
Ronaldo that year. He scored 40 goals. Messi scored 31, which wasn't his best, to be
yeah,
honest. He's done better than
wasn't his best. I mean, still
that.
crazy though, to be fair. That's how, but that's like the margins we're talking about with these guys, right? Like, wasn't his best. He probably still had what, like 60 goals in all competitions and like across those years.
Yeah,
Like in 2011 as a year. I think it's an easy table one. Definitely more so than 2010. I
yeah.
endorse that, and more so than 2009 for me. I think this 2011 Messi, apart from the team accolades, was crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I still think that
Was
2010 season's a little high, but we move on. 2012, I think that's like table one, and it's also number one in table one. I mean,
I agree.
that's the year of the 91 calendar goals in a
Yeah,
year. Yeah, I mean, nothing more to say. It was just fantastic. I mean,
yeah,
Barcelona won the league. They didn't win the league in 2011-12, and they didn't even win the Champions League.
yeah.
And it was
That's
the year
true.
where Torres famously went around Victor Valdez, and Chelsea won it. But I mean, 91 goals in a calendar year. I think the record before that was like 80 or 75 by Gerd Muller in like the 70s, where it was a completely different game. Yeah, I mean, that's just probably a record that's never going to be topped. I mean, even we're seeing goal scoring
Haaland.
monsters like
Mm,
Haaland, Mbappe. Like, I don't think that's a record that's ever going to be beaten because now players just can't play the same number of games. The game's more physical than it used to be. And we're forgetting Messi was not even the most physical player, but he still scored 91 goals. He was incredibly healthy that year. I don't know how many assists he got, but I think he probably got like 20, 30 assists as well. So that's pretty much a goal contribution. two contributions every game, or one and a half a game
Mm.
at least. So pretty insane. Yeah, not
He's
much.
got to be, yeah. I mean, cut and dry table one for me. This might just be peak Messi. I think there's another season coming up that I think you could make a case also being peak Messi, but at least as a goal scorer, when he was playing like that, I think this was the season as well. You're right. He didn't win the league and he didn't win the Champions League, but it's slightly unrelated, but this was one of the seasons he was playing center forward, no? Where he like
I
fully
think
drifted
so.
into that like false nine. And so he was literally the focal point of all of the attacks in that team. I mean,
Yeah.
91 goals in a calendar season. You can't mess with that, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
Ronaldo 2013. Again, he
dude,
shouldn't have won the Ballon d'Or that year, in my opinion. So
what? That's crazy.
I
In
think
that
that year was
calendar year,
Ribéry slash Robin, to be
I
honest.
think that is way less contentious of a year than the 2010 one. Like 20, dude, in 2013, Ronaldo had 69 goals in all competitions, 15 assists. He was an absolute like machine. I mean, yeah, machine de
That's
guerre,
pretty
as we say
good,
in
but
French.
then again, Real Madrid didn't win the Champions League. They got destroyed by Dortmund. They didn't win the league either, and he didn't score as many goals as Messi the year
But
before. So I think I put him table two probably.
but you just didn't. I mean, that wasn't a criticism as much for Messi, who also didn't. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but Messi scored 91 goals. That's 22 more than Ronaldo, and he also had more assists, I think.
but Ronaldo didn't even win that many league titles with Real Madrid
No, no, that's
in
fair, but
general, like,
I don't think it's a
and
table one season though, do you?
we only have five spots for table one, then
Yeah.
no, I agree. I'm like arguing with you about this, but I actually agree that it's not a table one season. Is it
I mean,
table?
I'd put him
You're
table
actually right.
three
You're right.
because
You're
I don't
making
think
me think.
he
I have
deserved
to.
that Ballon d'Or, but
We actually have limited spots, and considering that is, in my opinion, that's Ronaldo's most contentious win, right? Like none of his other Ballon d'Ors, I think, are remotely as contended. Let's put it table two and then revisit. Or we can check in table three for now, but then we're gonna have to make some big claims about some other seasons, man.
yeah,
Like I know I was just
let's put him in table two though, because yeah, I think that's good for now.
um
2014,
this for me is a clear table one.
probably
I
table
think
one. Yeah, I mean, Portugal were a bit shit in that World Cup. They lost in the group stage, but I mean, I don't know. I guess you can't really hold that against Ronaldo. Like the whole team was pretty poor.
they were, yeah. But for me, I mean, he was just yeah. But even when he was poor, sorry, this is a tangent and unrelated to when we're talking about their achievements. But do you remember that moment, dude? I have like a very vivid memory of Ronaldo in that 2014 World Cup having a sick moment against the US national team where he receives the ball, like Ronaldo chops it, violates like two players, and then gives it away.
I don't remember
This
that, but
this is a
I
very
mean, that's
specific. I'll
funny.
show it to you after the podcast, but there's a very specific clip of about 10 seconds where he just like does his cool Ronaldo stuff. Anyways, but
Yeah,
what's
I'd put
sad is
him.
that's his most memorable moment from that World Cup. So
We could say, yeah, we could say table one potentially. I mean, he came third in La Liga that year. He did win the Champions League against Atletico de La Decima, and they did win the
yeah.
Spanish Cup as well with that famous game where Bale went out of the pitch to overtake Mark Bartra, I think it was.
Mm.
I would say it's not crazy to put him in table one. I'd probably put him in table two though.
13 goals in across all of his Champions League matches that season as well, is what I'm
Yeah, that's
seeing.
pretty good. That's not bad, you know. It's a pretty good return.
Should we I said table what this is gonna be really hard. Table one for now, and then we revisit. The problem is
Sure.
I'm also looking at these other seasons, 16 and 17, and you could make a case. Anyways, yeah, this is tough, man. The reason I'm saying what I'm saying, and I know this is going a bit like off of like our track here, but the problem is when you have 10 years of these two players dominating the stage, like he says, we shared this stage for what was it? Like he says, 15 years. The problem is these seasons kind of flow into each other and these players slightly flow into each other. And what's tough is leading into this, leading away from this monologue that I'm saying, for me, 2015 Messi also has to be table one. So I'm like trying to think of how to make sacrifices here.
Yeah, I'd put him in table one, probably. He won the treble. I mean, he kind of was not very good in the Copa America, which Argentina lost in the final of. But I'd probably, I don't know if that's not, I don't think that's the year that he missed the penalty and retired for a bit. I think that was the 2016. But
Yeah,
I'd probably put him table one. I'd probably put him at the bottom of table one though,
you
or
put him at the bottom.
maybe
I
between
think it's
2011
better
and
than.
2014.
Do you think Messi's 2011 Ballon d'Or season? I guess we're taking this as calendar years. Do you think Messi's like 2011 calendar year Ballon d'Or is better than Messi's 2015 Ballon d'Or
I
year?
would say so, yeah.
Interesting. I
You don't
would
think
have
so?
no, I would have said I would have said the 2015 one, but I'm not like as
Yeah, well,
certain
let's
of
put it
it
ahead
as you
then.
are.
The
So we could
2015.
I do think we put it ahead of Ronaldo though. I
Yeah,
like
yeah, I agree.
um it's fine margins. Just 2015 Messi is one that I very vividly remember watching because that Barcelona team was a lot of fun to watch. And you mentioned the treble, and I just remember him being like freakishly good. Was that the year he dropped Boateng in the Champions League, or was that the year after that?
Yeah, that was the year he dropped Boateng.
Yeah, I remember that game. That was
But
insane.
again, they won the Champions League final, but like Juventus had some looks in there. Like it wasn't like a cut and dry
Yeah, that's
Champions League
true.
final, you know? So I would put it, I'm happy with that placement for now. And that's all the table one placements done. So yeah. 2016, I mean, Ronaldo won the Champions League, didn't win the league, that was still Barcelona, didn't win the top scorer of the league, that was Luis Suarez. But he did win the Champions League on penalties against Atletico Madrid. And he also did win the Euros with Portugal, even though he didn't really play a role at all in the final. Uh,
Well, he got injured. I mean, you can't really like
so
that's
I
that's
was,
really harsh, man. Like I'm all for the like anti-Messi and anti-Ronaldo agenda that
and that is
that
also
might be
maybe
going on, but that's really harsh. He got injured. Like that's
fine. He got
beyond.
injured, but that's potentially the worst tournament win I've ever seen in my lifetime.
That's fair. I mean, that
Out
that
of
tournament
seven
win made me
games,
cry, so I don't have any love of that at all.
out of 7 games, Portugal won
They
two.
drew like the first three, no?
Yeah, they won 2 games, of which only one in regulation time, which is
Yeah, is that the one
atrocious.
was that the one against Wales or was that
Yeah,
the one against
exactly. It was two
yeah.
zero against
Yeah.
Wales in the semifinal.
Yeah.
So I would say table bottom of table two,
It's
personally.
definitely table two. That's what's so crazy, man, is that we're like they were so good that we're coming up with criticisms just to put them in table two regardless, ahead of all of these, like Ronaldinho, Kaká, R9. Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
2017 Ronaldo, I mean, he was very good that year. Real Madrid won the league, they won the Champions League again. They absolutely destroyed Juventus in that Champions League final 4-1.
yeah.
I would
I
say potentially also table two. I mean, he was pretty good that year, you know?
I think he's easily table two, and
I think he might even be
I think
top
he's
of
top of
table
table
two.
two. I
Yeah.
think he is. I think he is top of table. He was crazy. Like we're talking about 2014. We talked about 2014 and 2016. I think 2017 is easily better than his 2016 campaign and his 2013 one, obviously. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah. I
would put it top
mean,
of table too.
he scored 12, he scored 42 goals and got 12 assists. I just did a quick
Did
VAR
53
check for
goals
that.
for club and country in the
Oh
year,
yeah,
in
yeah,
like the
true. For
whole calendar
club and
year.
country, yeah. So about yeah, not bad.
For
So
country, he had 11 games for Portugal that year. Granted, like, you've got friendlies and whatnot, and 11 goals, 4 assists. That's
yeah, that's
crazy.
pretty crazy. Yeah. I mean, I would say that's good. 2018 Modric, I'm gonna be honest, he's like a table four at best for me personally. I think the only reason why he won that World Cup was voter fatigue because they'd given it to Messi and Ronaldo for 10 years. And because Croatia made the final of the World Cup, but the thing is, he wasn't even a top three player in that Real Madrid team that year, in my opinion. He was definitely the best player of Croatia, and they got to the final of the Euros, even though whether they actually deserved to go to that stage or not is debatable. I mean, they only beat Japan on penalties in the quarters, or no, I think they won like a game on penalties pretty, it was a pretty tight game. They probably should have lost against England, and even though the scoreline didn't reflect it, they got absolutely destroyed in the final against France. but
Yeah.
I would say he's a table four, maybe even table five. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you just said. It's funny because we just got through 10 years of the same two players alternating Ballon d'Ors, and voter fatigue was definitely a thing, after you've seen the same two guys that are just such a cut above the rest. And even the seasons that are contentious, it's like you can still easily make an argument for them, as I've done or as Pablo's done. I'm not trying to disrespect Modric because, we rated him extremely highly in our midfielders tier list. We both think he's one of the top five midfielders of all time. Like we both, I think we put him in the top three even.
Yeah. No, I think he
I
was table
I
two,
think
top of
he's,
table
dude, I
two.
think he's table four. Could even put him top of table five.
I'd
The
put him
question
top of
is,
table five, honestly.
is
I
he,
don't think he had a better season than Figo.
you don't think that's what I was going to ask. You think his season, I think his season was worse than Shevchenko. I definitely agree with that.
I think it was
And
worse than Figo's as well, personally.
okay, then let's do top of table five.
Yeah, Messi 2019, what do you think?
Um, so this isn't one of the ones I was alluding to. I actually think Messi was very, very good in 2019. I think he was crazy good, like on an individual level. Obviously, is that his last? No, that's not his last season with Barcelona, is it? It's his second to
It's
last.
one of the later ones for sure.
Um, he was very, very good. I'm trying to remember. I'm checking here what his accolades were. I mean,
I mean, he didn't win the Champions League. They lost against Liverpool, that famous 4-0. He won the league.
yeah, they won the league
They
that
won the
year.
league. He had
Yep,
like 50 goals and 51 goals and 50 appearances for Barcelona. So that's pretty nuts, obviously. 22
that
assists. A
is
lot to go
insane.
on with that. I don't know. I mean, I would say it's obviously not his best season, but I'm looking at who's coming later. I'll sneak him into table two, honestly. I think he probably takes that final table two spot.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. I think this is table two. I was going to say I agree actually. I think this is table two. I mean, I just wanted to check some of the achievements. You're right. So they won the league. They got smoked by Liverpool, that famous Liverpool result. But
4-0.
I got to take some of these things aside and also consider the player. And I remember Messi in 2019 was still insane. Like that
Yeah,
year, I remember watching him and I remember thinking this guy is ridiculously good. He was back playing right wing. Um, he was still crazy fast, even though he's probably what, like 31 by this
32 at
point?
this point. Yeah.
32?
He had a
Yeah.
pretty poor Copa America as well that year, but I mean,
Yeah.
what's new?
Where do we put him in table two?
I'd say at the bottom.
You think below 2016 and 2013 Ronaldo?
Yeah, probably because he didn't have the team accolades as well, right? Like, and the his goal scoring was good, but it wasn't like Ronaldo in 2013 good.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Now, with
Um,
2020, I personally am gonna refuse to discuss this because it wasn't awarded. So, I mean, if it had been awarded,
bro,
Lewandowski would have ran away with it. But
yeah,
we
by a
can't
large
discuss a
margin.
prize that was not awarded. Like in my opinion,
Y-
it's just not.
Yeah, but that's so harsh. Dude, and you should even agree with this. I feel like it's a pretty unanimous thing in football that everyone agrees. I mean, Messi, we'll get into the 2021 Ballon d'Or after, but Messi even said like Lua, like this is your like he said that in his acceptance speech, spoke about
Yeah,
Lewandowski.
well, he said that because he
Lewandowski,
also shouldn't have won in 2020. He should have won in
I know, I agree.
2021 too.
I'm ready to kill him on the 2021 one, but we'll get to that after. But the Lewandowski 2020 dude, the quadruple, he was crazy good. I mean, he objectively got shafted by the COVID thing,
Yeah,
Like
but
that's
why they should have awarded the Ballon d'Or, but they didn't. So we'll
so
like
are
we
you saying we
can't.
just don't rank? I think that's so harsh. I think this is I think this is oh no, this is actually really hard. Where do I put this?
The thing is, I get that it was a crazy season. I agree, but like the we can't award something that never took place, right? Like it just would be, you know, it just never happened, right? I don't know.
You just don't want to rank it? I feel like that's harsh, man. But if we were to
Where
rank it, we
fine,
don't have to place him on the list, but where would
where
you
would you rank it if you were gonna rank it?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like starting to look at this. I think he has to be table three, and I'm thinking there's other things that are coming up as well. I think table three, someone's got to go down, in my opinion, and that someone is not Kaká or Ronaldinho. I think either the Messi season. Now that I'm thinking about, because I don't want to spoil anything ahead, but there's another one up here that has to be minimum table three for me, and it's like a non.
Oh
It's like it
God.
easily table three on here. So I
I
think,
wonder who.
I mean, I'll make an argument for. I don't think like if you argue against me on that one, it's just going to be an L in your favor because it was crazy. Like you're, anyways. Um, what do we do? Do we bring? Dude, is it wrong to bring
But
Messi?
are we actually putting him, or are we just hypothetically ranking him, but not actually ranking him, right?
Okay, so you don't want to place him at all, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying, like we could, like, but the thing is, if we're actually gonna rank the season, he shouldn't be in table three. He should be in like table two. Like that season
That's
was
the thing.
unreal. I mean, he scored like plus 50 plus goals, and he won the treble, and he won 8-2 against Barcelona, and he like just walked that treble with the Hansi Flick side. Like he's probably better than he's probably mid-table too if we're actually gonna rank this. But given that it didn't happen, I just can't. Like, I would rather not put him on the list, but I don't know.
Okay, let's keep him off the list for now and then see how it would go.
2021 undeserved table five
Dude,
for me.
yeah, yeah. I'm going. I like, I'm not even, it's so funny because I've spoken so highly about both Messi and Ronaldo in this podcast, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm just being a fanboy, but this is like egregious. He should never have won that Ballon d'Or. This is where it become evident to me that it's like FIFA has a
Popularity
little bit of a
contest.
thing going on. I think table five, like
Yeah. I mean, I think he's
easily
he's
for
above
me.
everyone else in table five, but that's it. Yeah, I mean, I would
He
say,
was still good. Like I'm not trying to disrespect him. He was still obviously very, very good, but he's just not. I,
but he just should
I,
he just shouldn't have won it. Yeah.
Lua was also very good in that 2020 that like 2021
Yeah, yeah,
year.
yeah. He still
He was also
scored
crazy
like
good.
50 goals.
Was he the runner up in 2021?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, but
remember.
everyone
Yeah.
said he should have won it, and
Yeah,
he
I think
didn't.
he should have won it. And they should have at least not even as a consolation, but like on top of him being the best in that year and having won it, you have the added fact of like he got griefed out of this one. Um Benzema. So I'm just going to let you start it off since evidently we've alluded to the fact. So I'm going to hear you
I mean, I think
dispute.
I think Benzema was a good player. Like I'm
He's a
not saying he
good
didn't deserve
player.
it. I think he did deserve it that year. I mean, it was also, in my opinion, quite a weak year for the Ballon d'Or. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. But that being said, I mean, also like he scored pretty clutch goals with Real Madrid in the Champions League. That's true. Like he scored against PSG with the complicity of Donnarumma. He scored against some outrageous goals against
Oh,
Chelsea as well.
yeah.
In the final, he was kind of missing. I mean, Vinny scored a
What?
decisive goal in the final against Liverpool. I do like Benzema, but I would say, yeah, I would say maybe like table three. Like I wouldn't put it higher. I mean, the thing is, I don't know if I'd put him higher than Cannavaro, to be honest.
That's
Um,
okay. That's an insane take.
but
I'm gonna stop you right there because I think part of what's bleeding into your ranking here is like trying to rage bait me, which is valid. But Benzema, and I'm not even like a Real Madrid fan. Obviously, I'm French and like I like him for that reason. But Benzema was crazy, bro. He won La Liga, he won Champions League, and it's not like he won La Liga and won Champions League is like oh, he's a player on the team. It's not only was he a striker and the main option, he was the most important player on that team easily. And that's a team that included Luka Modric, Tony Cruz, Vinicius Jr., all of these guys. I think Benzema that season was a man possessed. In the like 2021, 2022 season, he had 44 goals and 46 appearances in all competitions. He also had a plethora of assists, setting up like his own players, and then he continued that form into the next season. I would even make like in another world, if I was trying to die on this hill, I would make a case for table two. I think he's like genuinely, I think he's top of table three. I like genuinely think that season, that year is better than the other people in that table three category.
I don't know. I mean, I think if we were ranking Lewandowski in 2020 and Benzema, I would definitely rank Lewandowski higher, like the season that never was. Let me see. Is he better than Ronaldinho? I mean, again, different eras, different positions, so it's kind of hard to compare like goals and assists. But he did win the Champions League and the league, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's egregious to put him at the top of table three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, 13 goals in 10 Champions League games.
that's not bad.
That's
That's pretty good. Yeah. It's pretty good. I mean, mo
Anyways,
most of them were probably against like mailmen from like
but I
Azerbaijan or
guess
something.
yeah, maybe I got too passionate about it because now Pablo's you're agreeing with me, which is fair. I don't know. You can disagree with me if you genuinely don't think he
I mean,
deserves
I don't
that.
know. I'd put him
I
top.
just
I'd put him
I think
table
he's
three for sure.
I'm gonna put him top. I'm gonna like it's one of those rare moments where I feel like genuinely compelled to put him top because
Go
I
for
do
it.
think that season was so crazy. And if we're ranking careers, like that gets into a whole nother conversation. But this year, like that 2022 year was like it feels
Yeah.
rude to call it a purple patch because he's been great he's been great pretty much almost his whole career. So calling it a purple patch feels unfair, but this was him on another level,
Yeah. No,
Like I
I
just feel
agree.
like
And also, he was
um
35, so like he was pretty old, but he still managed to hack it. I mean, the only thing he didn't really play, I don't think he played the World Cup, right? I think he was injured when the 2022 World Cup was on.
he didn't play the World Cup.
So that's yeah, a bit of an L, but
It's just too bad. I think granted he was our arguably our best player at the 2021 Euros, to be
yeah,
honest.
he scored like a ridiculous goal against Switzerland. I remember like the
Yeah,
final
he
minute.
scored. He was very, very good.
All
It's a
right.
shame he couldn't make it
Messi
in.
2023, I'm gonna make it simple. I think that's a table four. I don't think he really deserved that Ballon d'Or either. I think probably
I
Haaland
agree.
deserved it. Probably table four. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's above Cannavaro. Is he above Shevchenko and Figo? I don't know, like potentially, but
Um, yeah, I'm trying to do
the thing
this
is,
as
are we gonna?
unbiased as possible.
We can't count the World Cup in that season because it was technically not in 2023. So, like, for me, that doesn't count in factoring in his
That's definitely what they factored
ranking.
into him
Yeah,
winning it,
but
though.
that's just
Like
wrong.
that's
Like,
the main reason he won
yeah,
that
but
year.
that's just like objectively wrong, in my
No,
opinion.
I agree. It is objectively wrong. And I think when I said he has two, it feels almost too far to call them scam Ballon d'Ors because like this one actually I think is more justified than the 2021 one.
Yeah, the
Like
2021 was
for
absolutely
sure.
egregious. It was heinous
Um, with that said, I don't think like this one also felt like them just giving it to him
because he's
as a
messy. Like, if
messy.
he was
Yeah.
called something else, like you wouldn't have gotten that Ballon d'Or.
Um, no, I won't put it above Cannavaro. I'll rank Cannavaro's higher. The question is with Shevchenko and Figo.
I don't know, man. Like the thing is, there's a different era, so it's hard to compare. I mean, I wouldn't be outraged if you put him in front of Shevchenko, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
I would put him below Shevchenko and Figo, to be honest.
At the bottom.
Yeah, harsh.
Yeah, it feels harsh, but might be fair.
What about
Yeah.
Rodri? Didn't
Uh,
deserve it in 2024 either, in my opinion.
so who do you think deserved it, Vinny?
Probably Vinny, but either way, like, I mean, I don't know actually, because he did win the league with Man
Had
City.
great Euros as well.
He did win the Euros. He was the best player in the Euros, even though it might have actually been Lamine, depending on who you ask. But like, there was that whole thing of Real Madrid also like throwing a hissy fit when Vinny didn't win. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put him in table four. I think
Because of that,
not because
because
of
of the
that,
hissy
but
fit.
I just think it's like now that I think of it, it's not that outrageous. I thought it was pretty outrageous that Real Madrid deserted the ceremony because it wasn't that cut and dry, in my opinion, that Vinny deserved it over Rodri. But it was pretty
Mhm.
contentious, right?
They
And,
lost the Champions League to the eventual champions as well. Yeah.
yeah, they lost against Real Madrid in the Champions League like quarters or something. I don't know. I put
Um,
them at the bottom of table four, top of table five, something like that.
do we really think it's better than Luka Modric's? Dude, I'm not trying to like shift him to five, but I like,
Let's think. He's definitely better than Michael Owen, in my opinion.
yeah, I
And better
agree.
than Nedved. And I don't know, is he better than Nedved or not? Because again, these are three very controversial Ballon d'Or wins, these last three. Nedved,
Yeah.
Aubry,
These
and
last four, dude, are all insanely controversial.
the whole line, yeah. So like where are we ranking him among that? Because you have to think on the one hand, how good was he that season? And on the other hand, how much did he deserve the Ballon d'Or? I think if we're looking at how good he was, it's pretty impressive because if you look at when he got injured, Man City completely fell apart, right? So it's undeniable that his influence, he was the most important player on that team, even a team that has Haaland. That being said, I would put him top of table five actually, because look how Man City fell apart when he got injured.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Top of table five, you said?
Yeah, yeah, I would.
Yeah. Dude, to be honest, I'm almost like thankful that we're not ranking Lewandowski
There'd be a lot of rearranging if we did.
because, dude, he would have to be minimum table three, man.
I think it'd be table two if we were ranking him because that
You
season
rank,
was
okay,
unreal.
so taking my bias aside, do you like genuinely think Lewandowski's season, the COVID year as well, which I'm not trying to detract, but that year was better than Benzema's? Because like for me, Benzema's Champions League run, like I don't know,
I mean, they had the same number of goals in the Champions League. No, I think Leo actually had 15 goals in the Champions League, and Benzema had like 13, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm not saying that
at
it's
13 and
head
10,
and
yeah.
shoulders, but I think it was better than Benzema's season. Also, they won the sextuple, like that matters. Like if you win like the treble and then win all the other trophies as well. I
They
think
won six
Real,
trophies that year. Damn, I thought it was I
I think
said
Real
five
Madrid's
earlier.
team was better than that Bayern team as well.
That Bayern team was a well-oiled
It was pretty
machine,
good,
though.
yeah, and it had
With
Hansi
Alfonso
Flick as
Davies, dude.
well.
Hansi Flick had Serge Gnabry playing like a demon.
Yeah, Kingsley
That was when
Coman.
Leroy Sané there as well at that point, or no? It was
Yeah,
Kingsley
no, he hadn't
Coman.
moved yet, but Kingsley Coman was there, and
Uh,
he scored that decisive goal against PSG in the final. I don't know.
yeah,
I think it's a good list. Like, there's no. I'm doing a quick scan. I don't really think there's anything I'd change necessarily, but it's tough with some of these. Like some of the Messi Ronaldo seasons is pretty tough. It's like choosing between your mom and your dad. You know, it's not simple.
dude, it's tough having like the top 10 are all Messi and Ronaldo. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of exemplifies the kind of football they
You
created,
think
right?
2008 Ronaldo is second best Ballon d'Or on this list? I'm not like disputing it. I don't think it's a crazy take at all. I'm just trying to think.
I do think so, just because
2014, he was pretty crazy too. Because this is
that's
saying, and
true.
if we say that, we're saying his peak year was at Manchester United. And when I think about it that way, man, I don't think his peak year of his career was at Man U. I
I'd
think it
say
was at
maybe
Real
not, but
Madrid.
I think it was the most impressive Ballon d'Or because he just was dragging that team through everything. Like I think his other seasons were really good, obviously, but the team was also good, right? Like in Manchester United, the team was great, but it was a kind of a Manchester United that wasn't at their peak. Like they were slowing down a bit in some ways. Like I don't know. I personally prefer his 2008 season also because he scored less goals, but that was at a time when people were just scoring less goals, right? Like if you
He had
look
the
like
record until Salah broke it. Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt.
exactly. Yeah. In the Premier League as well, when the Premier League was starting to come up. I personally am happy with that. I'd be curious to see what Julian would think, for example, though, as a Man United and as a big Ronaldo fan, you know?
Yeah. We should take a screenshot of this, send it to the others,
Yeah,
get like
they can
input
react in
on
the next
what they think.
episode.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't I feel good about this list, man. Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
think you're
happy with
right.
it.
I think you're right about the Ronaldo thing. It's just tough because when you think of Ronaldo, like we had this come up in the podcast that we recorded before, and you said, you do think of Real Madrid Ronaldo. So
That's
it's
true.
interesting.
No, I agree with that. But the thing is, he won four Ballon d'Ors at Real Madrid, right? So I think his peak at Real Madrid was more spread out, while his peak at United was just like he had that insane season. And then his other seasons were so good, but they weren't at the same level, you know? So that's my argument for putting him above as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is our list of the last Ballon d'Or winners of the past 25 years. Again, if you want us in the future, maybe we can go a bit, you know, earlier in football history, but the discussion will probably be a bit shorter, to be honest. But yeah, I hope you liked it. Obviously, if you want to see more videos, drop a comment with some ideas if you have any ideas of what we should do next. And thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.